আসন কথা বলা হয়েছে, যেটা বিভিন্ন পার্সপেক্টিভে বিভিন্ন রোগের মাধ্যমে আমাদের মানে আমাদের বডির উপরে সেই জিনিসগুলো কাজ করে, সেটা 64 আসনের কথা বলা হয়েছে। প্রাণায়ামের মাধ্যমে আমরা যে ব্রিথকে ইনহেল করার, স্টে করা এবং সেটাকে ছাড়ার মধ্যে দিয়ে আমাদের ফার্স্ট যে মানে আমাদের নিঃশ্বাসের উপরে বা আমাদের নিঃশ্বাস প্রশ্বাসের উপরে কন্ট্রোলিং এর মাধ্যমে আমাদের পরবর্তী স্টেপটা প্রবাহিত হয়। তারপরে হচ্ছে আমরা যখন প্রত্যাহার করি, যেমন আমাদের ইন্দ্রিয় বিভিন্ন রকম আমাদের মানে ইন্দ্রিয় আমাদের মধ্যে থাকে না, আমাদের বিভিন্ন রকমের চিন্তা ভাবনা আসতে থাকে, যে ইন্দ্রিয় আমাদের পরিমার্য করার জন্য যে আমাদের প্রত্যাহার এগুলো হয়, এগুলো ইয়ম নিয়ম আসন প্রত্যাহার, এই যে এগুলো আছে, এগুলো আমাদের ইনার ওয়েতে কাজ করতে হয়। মানে যোগার প্রসেসে আমরা যাওয়ার আগে এগুলো আমাদের ইনার ওয়েতে কাজ করতে হয়। এবার সরি, এটা আমাদের এক্সটার্নাল ওয়েতে কাজ করতে, ইনার ওয়েতে আমাদের কাজ করতে হয় ধারণা, ধ্যান, সমাধি। ধারণা বলতে বোঝা যাচ্ছে যে আমাদের দীর্ঘ টাইম ধরে যে আমাদের চিত্তকে নিজের দেহকে বা নাভি দেশে যে আমাদের যেটাকে আমরা কুণ্ডলিনী জাগ্রত বলে, যে মূলাধার চক্র থেকে আস্তে আস্তে আমাদের যে পুরো যে স্টেপ বাই স্টেপ যে চক্রগুলো জাগ্রত হয়, সেগুলোর মধ্যে ফার্স্ট যে আমাদের মূলাধার চক্র থেকে সেই জিনিসগুলোকে আমাদের শুরু করতে হয়। তারপরে সেগুলোকে আমাদের প্রত্যেকটা স্তরে বাই স্তরে আমাদেরকে সেগুলো ধ্যানের মাধ্যমে আস্তে আস্তে আমাদেরকে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যেতে হয়। যোগার মাধ্যমে আরেকটা হচ্ছে যে আমরা অষ্টাঙ্গিক এই জিনিসগুলোর মাধ্যমে আমাদের শেষ যেটা যোগার মেইন কনসেপ্ট হচ্ছে যে আমাদের সমাধি বা ঈশ্বরের উপলব্ধি, এগুলো মানে ঈশ্বরের উপলব্ধি করতে বা কৈলব্য জ্ঞানের মাধ্যমে আমাদের চেতনা বা আমাদের জাগ্রত করা, এইগুলোর মাধ্যমে আমাদের এগিয়ে নিয়ে যেতে হয়। তারপরে বলছে এই যে যোগা তো মানে সকলের জন্য দরকার, বা সমস্ত ব্যক্তির জন্য যোগা দরকার, আমাদের ভারতীয় কালচারের যোগা প্রয়োজন, কিন্তু পার্টিকুলার মেয়েদের কেন যোগা দরকার? আমাদের ডে টু ডে লাইফ, আমাদের ডে টু ডে খাদ্যাভ্যাস, আমাদের লাইফস্টাইল যে এখন যে পরিস্থিতিতে এসছে, দেখা যাচ্ছে মেয়েদের বিভিন্ন রকমের সমস্যা দেখা যাচ্ছে, যার একমাত্র মানে মানে যদি সেই জিনিসগুলোকে সঠিক করানো যায়, সেগুলো একমাত্র আমাদের নিজস্ব পদ্ধতি হচ্ছে যোগা। যোগার মাধ্যমে আমাদের মেয়েদের অনেক রকমের সমস্যা, অনেক রকমের যে আমাদের পরিস্থিতির মধ্যে দিয়ে যেতে হয়, বিভিন্ন রকমের পরিস্থিতির মধ্যে, সেগুলোর মধ্যে দিয়ে যোগা আমাদের সাধারণত সেই জিনিসগুলো কাজ করে থাকে। মেন হচ্ছে আমাদের মেয়েদের ক্ষেত্রে যে জিনিসগুলো দরকার হয়ে থাকে এখন এর মধ্যে হরমোনাল ডিসব্যালেন্স, যে আমাদের এখন যেটা যে পিটুইটারি গ্রন্থি, থাইরয়েড গ্রন্থি বিভিন্ন রকম ভাবে আমাদের লাইফস্টাইলের জন্য ডিসব্যালেন্স হচ্ছে। তো এই ব্যালেন্সটা আমাদের মেনটেন করার জন্য আমাদের, বা কোনো ব্যালেন্স যদি আমাদের খারাপ হয়ে যায়, সেগুলোকে রেগুলেট করার জন্য আমাদের কিন্তু এই যোগাটার খুব প্রয়োজন হয়। তো মেন স্ট্রিম প্রবলেমের জন্য এখন যেটা আমাদের মানে পার্টিকুলার মেয়েদের ক্ষেত্রে যেটা দেখা যাচ্ছে, যে মেন স্ট্রিমের ক্ষেত্রে বা পিরিয়ডস এর টাইমে বিভিন্ন রকমের প্রবলেম দেখা দিচ্ছে। তো সেগুলোর জন্য
yes ma'am, please
okay
brief it, okay, just read the point, don't need explanation, okay.
তো ইনফার্টিলিটির ক্ষেত্রে বা প্রেগনেন্সিতে, তারপরে বিভিন্ন রকম এখন যে হেলথ ইস্যু হচ্ছে মেয়েদের, এনজাইটি, ডিপ্রেশন, বিভিন্ন রকম পড়াশোনার ক্ষেত্রে, কাজের ক্ষেত্রে, সমস্ত জায়গার ক্ষেত্রে, তো অনেক ছোটবেলা থেকে মেন্টাল হেলথটাকে খুব গুরুত্ব দেওয়া হয়েছে, যে মেন্টাল হেলথের জন্য বা অনেক বিভিন্ন রকম গাইডেন্স কাউন্সিলিং এর ক্ষেত্রেও বলা হচ্ছে যোগা করতে, মেডিটেট করতে, বা বিভিন্ন রকম ধ্যান করতে, বিভিন্ন রকম পশ্চার, বিভিন্ন এখন ধ্যানের বিভিন্ন রকম চলেছে, কিন্তু যোগা হচ্ছে আমাদের ভারতীয় কালচারে প্রথম, যেটা যদি প্রত্যেকটা স্কুল কলেজ বা বিভিন্ন জায়গা থেকে যদি প্র্যাকটিস করানো হয়, তো বিভিন্ন রকম সমস্যা থেকে আমাদের সমাধান পেতে পারি। এবার এগুলোর মেন যেটা আমাদের বলা হয়েছে, যে চিত্ত মানে আমাদের মাইন্ডকে শুদ্ধি করবে, আমাদের বুদ্ধিকে শুদ্ধি করবে, তো আমাদের চিন্তা ভাবনা, আমরা কোন জিনিসকে কিভাবে আমরা চিন্তা ভাবনা করছি, আমাদের চিন্তা ভাবনা, আমাদের ব্যবহার, আমাদের আচরণ, আমাদের চিন্তা, সমস্ত কিছুর ক্ষেত্রে কিন্তু আমাদের এই যোগাটাকে বেশি গুরুত্ব দেওয়া হয়েছে। কিন্তু এখন একটা স্ট্যাটিস্টিক দেখা যাচ্ছে যে 69% রিপোর্টে দেখা যাচ্ছে যোগা যদি করা হয় মেয়েদের বিভিন্ন রকম মুড সুইমিং বা মুডের যে সমস্যা, রেগে যাওয়া, চিড়চিড় ভাবা, বিভিন্ন রকম হরমোনাল ডিসব্যালেন্সের জন্য যেগুলো হয় সেগুলোর ক্ষেত্রে দেখা যাচ্ছে একটা পরীক্ষাতে দেখা যাচ্ছে 96% আমাদের যোগা করার পরে সেগুলো খুব ভালো হয়েছে। 63% খুব মেন্টালি ইমপ্রুভ হয়েছে বিভিন্ন রকম মোটিভেশনের ক্ষেত্রে। 59% দেখা যাচ্ছে যাদের স্লিপের বিভিন্ন রকম সমস্যা বা তাদের সেই সমস্যাগুলোকে রিকভারি করার জন্য যোগার বিভিন্ন রকম কাজ মেয়েদের ক্ষেত্রে এই জিনিসগুলো কাজ হয়েছে। 89% মাইন্ডকে বিভিন্ন রকম যে ডিপ্রেশন, অ্যাংজাইটি বা এইসব জায়গা থেকে মেয়েদের যে যোগা করার পরে তো দেখা যাচ্ছে এই জিনিসগুলো মেয়েদের অনেকটা ইমপ্রুভ হয়েছে। আর থ্যাংক ইউ।
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Amrita. You have presented in a nice way. একটা কোশ্চেন আছে, আপনি যে এগুলো মানে এটা যে করলেন আপনি অনেকটাই কভার করেছেন, আপনার মেথোডোলজিটা মানে কোথা থেকে এটাকে অন বেসিস অফ লিটারেচার অর
লিটারেচার ম্যাম, লিটারেচার আর সামটাইম ওই কিছু একটু মানে ডাটা কালেকশন, ডাটা নিয়েছি যেগুলো স্ট্যান্ডার্ড ওয়েতে আছে সেই।
ঠিক আছে, ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ। আর অন্য কেউ কোনো কোশ্চেন করবেন? আপনি শেয়ারিংটা স্টপ করুন। নেক্সট মিস চন্দ্রকলা ভান্ডারী, প্লিজ।
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
ওকে,
Yeah, ma'am. I'm the PhD scholar, BAU Ahmedabad.
on your video.
Oh, okay. Actually, ma'am, I'm in the one center, which is I think it will be inconvenient to open a video, so I will be present orally. If it's okay, ma'am.
Oh, you have PPT presentation? No.
No, there was a options for oral presentation and PPT, so
Okay. Yeah, I am just asking you have PPT or not. Okay.
okay, ma'am.
You
And
may present orally, ठीक है.
yeah, ma'am. So, ma'am, I did one survey that is a case study only. So it's a based on that how invisible disabilities affect on the mental health of human being, and it's like invisible disabilities, like in the RPWD Act there's a mention of 21 types
What
of
is the title? What's the title of your paper? Please.
in invisible disabilities effect on mental health.
Okay.
So I did a case study of one child here from that Sikkim, in Sikkim only. Actually, I am basically from Sikkim. So I did this case study in inclusive school, and I did this. I did observations method. I did through observation method with 40 students, and among the 40 students, there was one intellectual disabled child in the class 9. So I did study how he before give any like yoga, meditation, and this kind of remedial to him, how he behave before the remedial and how he behave after the remedial. I did this study. So I find that in the study that I found that before giving any kind of remedial, his behavior was so odd, and he is like antisocial, and he like to stay alone. He is very aloof, and the how behave that intellectual disabled persons. So he has same kind of this thing characteristic. But meanwhile, that teachers, I asked teachers to give some counseling with his parents also to him also, and give some remedials like meditations, counseling, and some kinds of breathing exercise. So after giving this thing, only only 20-15% improvement we saw in his behavior. During the classroom, he gave attention also. Before that interventions, he didn't give attentions. But after the 6 months of this exercise, he started to giving attentions also. So he made lot of improvement in his behavior also, and in his life also. So I found this thing that yoga is very essential in human life. How yoga nowadays some of the people think yoga is only a physical exercise, but in my opinion, yoga is not only a physical exercise. It's a art, is a skill, is a attention, is a consciousness. And if people started to give attention in something for a long time and start to be a conscious mind, so I think it's also a yoga. So we observe this thing in that persons. So this is my observations. Thank you so much, ma'am.
This is a nice study. Do you have a do you want to extend this study to other also?
Yeah,
Other
ma'am. Yes,
uh,
ma'am. I want to extend this thing in my other area. So actually, I am pursuing PhD. So I just want to touch this thing in my PhD thesis also. But further, I also want to study deeply this thing in after my completion this PhD. I want to go in this area and I want to extend this, and I want to know more thing how this yoga, improve the mental status of human being. And nowadays, not only invisible disabilities, nowadays people are facing so many mental health issues. Even in schooling student also, or other adult persons also, there are so many areas, so many factors due to that people are facing so many issues. So and even there nowadays social side and social media, this digitalized platform, they are also giving some disadvantage. There is an advantage, but there are some disadvantages which people are facing so many mental issues. So I just want to study deeply this in further also. Thank you so much, ma'am.
thank you very much.
Thank
This is
you.
a very nice study. This is a very good study.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next one, Dr. Adrija Chattopadhyay. Please.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, is my screen visible?
Hey, yes.
Okay. So, my name is Dr. Adrija Chattopadhyay. I'm an assistant professor of Amity Institute of Education, Amity University, Kolkata. And my topic is Yoga and Life Skills in School Education, a Social Therapy for Sustainable Existence. As Chandrakala ma'am has said that, her research is very relatable to me, the last lines, that yoga is not only for mental, physical health, it also helps in developing the mental issues and many things. Now, according to WHO, as we all know, World Health Organization, there are 10 life skills, and that skills are very much needed in our everyday life. So we can say that yoga practices regularly every day or at a frequent time foster the development of such life skills such as emotional regulation, awareness, resilience, etc. Not only the physical development, yoga has also contribution on the development of mental clarity, emotional stability, and overall well-being. Because nowadays in 21st century, well-being, mental well-being is one of the most important things. Now, yoga should be incorporated in educational curriculum to develop a holistic approach for the all-around development of life and for the comprehensive future life. Now, according to that, the statement of my problem is yoga and life skill in school education, a social therapy for sustainable existence. Now, the objectives are to understand the relationship in between yoga and life skills, to know the conception of secondary level teachers about the importance of yoga education and life skills in school education. And the third is to understand the basic hindrances that teachers can face in using yoga education and life skill in school curriculum. Based on the three objectives, I have developed three research questions. What are the relationship in between yoga and life skills? What are the conception of secondary level teachers about the importance of yoga education and life skill in school education? And what are the basic hindrances that teachers can face in using yoga education and life skill in school curriculum? If I want to say the significance of the study will be helpful for the future researcher to find the importance of life skills and yoga education. The study will help the policy framers and curriculum developers to develop the curriculum, keeping in mind the importance of the two factors in education. The stakeholders can understand the importance of yoga and life skill education. The delimitation is to 100 secondary level teachers from 10 schools of Kolkata and Howrah region. There was no categorical variables and only 15 reviews were done to understand the relationship in between yoga and life skill. So this is a qualitative research design. And 15 reviews were analyzed by systematic review design. 100 samples were selected from 10 secondary level schools of Kolkata and Howrah by purposive sampling. An open-ended questionnaire was used and the data was analyzed through content analysis. Now, after the analyzation of the 15 research review, some points here I have noted down that yoga and life skill is very closely related to each other, where in stress management, in development of self-awareness, in concentration and focus development, to develop a person emotionally, to regulate him or her, to develop the adaptability of the person, to develop the communication skills by promoting empathy, self-awareness, active listening skills, time management, confidence and self-esteem, and mindfulness and presence. Now the next one, research question. What are the conception of secondary level teachers about the importance of yoga education and life skill in school education? Based on the responses of the open-ended questionnaire, I have selected some of the points, that is holistic development, that means overall development of human being, reduction of stress, improved academic performance, enhanced emotional intelligence, better relationship, self-awareness development, physical health development, adaptability development, positive school environment creation, and preparation for a well-developed life. Here are some responses that I have selected. There are many responses, but I have selected 3 responses from there. The next one, what are the basic hindrances that teachers can face in using yoga education and life skill in school curriculum? Most of the teachers said that there are lack of training and support. There are limited resources to every day to practice yoga in school. Curriculum constraint, as there is a huge pressure on curricular things. So co-curricular activities, generally they are left behind. Resistance from administrators and colleagues. And another one, very important, resistance from the parents, because parents think that only curricular activities are important for the development of the students, only numbers are important. And then time constraint. Then cultural and social barrier. There are assessment and evaluation challenges, how this evaluation will be done. Infrastructural lack and teacher burnout, because teacher may experience stress by using this. So here are some responses. And in conclusion, I can say that as yoga and life skill are very closely related to each other, they have effect on a student life. Besides providing curricular training, it is the duty of the teachers to teach every student proper yoga and through yoga proper life skill, so that in the rat race situation of 21st century, they will not feel stressed, because there are too much curricular stress right now for job, for good result, for academic betterment and all that. So yoga can be a great help in that, so that the life skills can be developed, and after that the tomorrow's generation can witness an all around developed future. Here are some suggestions for future research. The study can be done on other educational sectors. Attitudes of the stakeholders about practicing yoga and life skill in school curriculum can be measured. Student awareness about the importance of yoga and life skill can be measured. And not only in educational sector, other working sectors, yoga and life skill training can be applied. And these are some references, and thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your nice presentation. Excellent presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next, Shubhradeep Ghosh.
Yes, ma'am, I am audible.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So I am starting my presentation.
I'll ask everyone to not to leave after your session presentation is over. You don't leave. Okay. At last we
Ma'am,
take a snap. Okay.
ma'am, just voice is not voice is just breaking. It's not coming clearly to me.
Okay. Okay. I'm telling not to leave after your presentation is over.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Definitely, definitely.
I'm asking everybody because at last
Okay.
we will on our video and take a snap. Okay.
So, ma'am, should I start?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. PPT is visible or not?
Visible.
Okay, okay, ma'am. So I am Shubhradeep Ghosh, research scholar of Department of Education, the University of Burdwan. So today I am presenting a brief overview on my study titled Self-Concept and Environmental Awareness among the college students. So basically, we see that in the introduction, in today's world, global challenges are very crucial. So global challenges like climate change, poverty, social injustice, employment, geopolitical conflicts. Among them, the environmental degradation is very crucial. And environmental education is very important to combat these global challenges, basically the environmental degradation. So environmental education must not focus only the knowledge dimension, it should be beyond that. So it should move towards the behavioral transformation or attitudinal transformation. So behavior is rooted on the psychological construct. Behavior, attitude, these are psychological construct. So that is the self-concept. So this study explores how the self-concept relates to ecological awareness among the college students. So what is the self-concept? Eta hocche atmodharana. So it is a set of organized set of beliefs and perceptions of individual hold about themselves. যে তারা নিজের ব্যাপারে কি রকম ভাবে। তো these are the key components of them. So physical self, social self, emotional self, academic self, moral self, and self-esteem or ideal self. So what is the environmental awareness? So it is the awareness and concern for the environmental issue such as pollution, climate change, and sustainability. So awareness includes knowledge about ecological challenges, positive attitude towards nature, and adoption of eco-friendly habits like recycling. So who are the college students? The college students are the young adults who are undergoing their higher education while forming independent identities and value system. So they are the future policymakers and educators and the leaders. Okay, these are the review of literature. Recent studies have been studied, and the research gap is very few limited studies have been directly linking the self-concept and environmental awareness. The significance of the study is very important. So global environmental challenge demand attitudinal change, not only the knowledge-based change, it demands the attitudinal and behavioral change. And youth are the pivotal as change agents in sustainability. So a strong self-concept shapes values and identity. When individuals see themselves as responsible and ethical, they are more likely to care for the environment. So environmental concern reflects their inner values. So two theories which I have been studied for this study, which is Carl Rogers' self-concept theory, and another is Clayton's eco-identity theory. So Carl Rogers' theory said that the self-concept leads to social responsibility, and environmental awareness is also belongs to our social responsibility. And Clayton's theory, eco-identity, predicts that environmental concern internalized in self-concept. So these are the objectives of my study, very simple. To assess self-concept level among the college student, to assess environmental awareness level among the college student, to examine whether is there any gender difference or not, and to investigate correlation between self-concept and environmental awareness. And these are the hypotheses based on these objectives. So H1 is no significant gender difference in self-concept. H2 is no significant gender difference in environmental awareness. And H3 is no significant relationship between self-concept and environmental awareness. So this is methodology. So this is a quantitative research design. Based on this quantitative research design, I used a descriptive survey method. So UG students from Hooghly district of West Bengal, 50 students has been taken by simple random sampling from government and government aided colleges, and I have used two tools in this study. Two tools are also self-made and researcher made. What is self-concept scale, and another is environmental awareness. Self-concept scale is a holistic tool including all those key aspects, and also environmental awareness questionnaire is also based on the sustainable development goals. So here is the analysis. So first of all, we can see that mean score of the students in the self-concept level, it is 78.43%, which is very much high. And we can see that standard deviation is 7.91, which is moderate to low. So we can say that there is lesser variability, but higher self-concept found among the students. That means 34% or 26% students possess moderate to higher level of self-concept. there is the environmental awareness analysis. In this same kind of descriptive statistics has been used. So mean is 56.47, that is very average to moderate, and standard deviation is 15.77, which is a bit high. So we can say that greater variability in case of environmental awareness among the students suggests an inconsistent awareness level, possibly due to varying exposure of environmental education. And one thing is we need to note that 32%, most of the students, like 32%, belongs to medium category of environmental awareness level. So there is gender difference. So t-test has been conducted for the gender difference. So from the table we can see that there is no such gender difference among the students at 0.5 significant level. Hence the H1 is accepted. There is no significant gender difference in terms of self-concept. And here in this diagram we can see the mean difference, and there is a gender difference for the environmental awareness also. Same kind of t-test has been conducted, and result shows that no gender difference has been found, no in 0.05 level significant difference in case of environmental awareness among the college students. So H2 is accepted. So there is no significant gender difference in case of environmental awareness among the college students. So lastly, the correlation, the R values, Pearson's correlation coefficient has been computed to assess the strength of the relationship between the self-concept and environmental awareness. It shows that 0.065 R value. So it is a very weak but positive relationship between the self-concept and environmental awareness among the college students. So it indicates that a possible trend where enhanced self-concept might support the greater variability in awareness. Thus the H3 is rejected. So there is significant relationship and positive relationship. So key findings are there. So most of the students belongs to the high level of self-concept. Most of the students belongs to low to medium level of environmental awareness, and there is no gender difference, statistically no gender difference between these two variables, and weak positive correlation has been found in case of self-concept and environmental awareness. And these are maybe the possible reasons. I am not explaining that. So in conclusion, we can say that self-concept may be one factor for the environmental awareness, but there may be other factors like media exposure and family background and learning experiences. This should be, and this is a pilot study and preliminary study, so that's why the sample is so small. So this gives a useful glimpses into the student mindset and concern about the environment. So we can say that the environmental education should be encouraged in college through in young adults through peer-led eco clubs, tours and activities, experiential and place-based activities like excursion and interdisciplinary teaching practices. These are done, and policymakers should prioritize the ecological consciousness as psychological outcome. So this is so young adults are going to take the active role in promoting sustainability, so they should be encouraged more through the environmental education. So these are the references, and lastly I am ending this presentation with a quote. একটা রবীন্দ্রনাথের একটা উক্তি দিয়ে আমি শেষ করব, এটা যে প্রকৃতিকে যিনি ভালোবাসেন তিনি নিজের মধ্যেও সৌন্দর্য অনুভব করতে পারেন। তো সেলফ অ্যান্ড এনভায়রনমেন্ট ইজ ভেরি মাচ কানেক্টেড। তো লার্নিং অ্যাবাউট দ্য সেলফ is learning for the earth. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for a very nice and elaborate presentation. But one question I have, and one question here our one student has for you.
Yes,
the
ma'am.
question is, I am asking what the for data analysis, have you used any software or manually you have done it?
No, ma'am, I have used the SPSS software, and there is MS Excel software for the basically MS Excel software for the descriptive statistics and this all of this inferential statistics.
You should have mentioned in the methodology.
Hey, ma'am, actually time is very less. That's why I didn't mention. I mentioned in the paper, in my paper also.
But I am observing that most of you are not mentioning the methodology of the paper study. That is a very important part, methodology. Okay, and another, our one student want to ask a question to you, please.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, yes. Sir, you have mentioned the gender difference in your statistics and in your analysis. So, may I now ask what significance does gender difference lie in the topic of your presentation?
So topic in the presented topic, gender difference. These are student may be categorized into two categories. আমি আমরা একজন স্টুডেন্টকে মানে আমরা বেসিক্যালি ছেলে মানে মেল স্টুডেন্ট এবং ফিমেল স্টুডেন্ট আমরা ভাগ করতে পারি, কিন্তু আমরা যখন আমরা সেলফ কনসেপ্ট অ্যানালাইজ করছি, আমি আগেও এইটা নিয়ে রিসার্চ করেছি, তো তখন দেখেছি সেলফ কনসেপ্টের ক্ষেত্রে মেয়েদের চয়েসেস গুলো কিছু কিছু ক্ষেত্রে স্টাডিজ এর বেসিসে বলছি, কিছু কিছু ক্ষেত্রে সোশ্যাল চয়েসেস গুলো বা তাদের ফিজিক্যাল চয়েসেস গুলো ছেলেদের থেকে কিছুটা ডিফারেন্ট হয়। তো আমরা যখন দেখেছি বেসিক্যালি সোশ্যাল চয়েসেস, মরাল চয়েসেস মানে they are almost same or intellectual choices, there is no difference, but where is in case of physical self concept or social self concept, so সেখানে কিছু সামান্য ডিফারেন্স এসে যায়। তো এনভায়রনমেন্টাল সাস্টেনেবিলিটি যেটা আমরা অ্যাওয়ারনেসের ক্ষেত্রে দেখছি, তো আমরা যেহেতু সেলফ কনসেপ্টটাতেও এটা দেখেছি যে কিছু কিছু ডিফারেন্স আসছে, আমি পাস্টে যখন স্টাডি করেছি তখন খেয়াল করেছি, তো আমি এনভায়রনমেন্টাল অ্যাওয়ারনেসের ক্ষেত্রেও দেখতে চাইছি যে এটা কোনো সিগনিফিকেন্ট ডিফারেন্স আসছে কিনা। তো এটা যেহেতু খুব স্মল একটা মানে স্টাডি, একটা প্রিলিমিনারি পাইলট স্টাডি আমার টুল স্ট্যান্ডার্ডাইজেশনের জন্য, তো তাই জন্য মেবি জেন্ডার ডিফারেন্সটা অতটা ভিজিবল হয়নি। তো মেবি আমি যখন এটা লার্জার পর্যায়ে করব তখন মেবি ভিজিবল হতে পারে। তো সেলফ কনসেপ্ট আমরা যখন সেলফের কথা বলবো, নিজের কথা বলবো, তো তখন জেন্ডারের ক্ষেত্রে তাদের চয়েসেস গুলো আলাদা হয়, তো তাই জন্য সেলফ কনসেপ্টটা একটু ডিফারেন্ট হলেও হতে পারে। তো সেইটাই আমি এক্সপ্লোর করার চেষ্টা করেছি যে আছে কিনা।
Thank you so much, sir, for the clarification. Thank you.
ওকে ওকে, থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ।
Thank you, Shubhadeep. Next one,
থ্যাংক ইউ ম্যাম।
Mr. Sandeep Kumar Jadhav. Mr. Sandeep Kumar Jadhav, are you present? Mr. Sandeep Kumar Jadhav, you are present and I can see you, but hello. Please present your paper.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
My name is Sandeep Kumar Yadav.
Yes.
My topic is yoga for the person with visual impairment.
Yoga for the
Visual impairment.
please
हाँ जी मैम,
थोड़ा सा कट क्या रहा है प्लीज फिर से बोलिए योगा
आवाज
for
कट कट की सर।
the
Person with visual impairment.
video
Visual दृष्टिबाधित
okay
दृष्टिबाधित बच्चों के लिए
Okay.
योगा का
okay you start.
Visual impairment is a term used to describe a range of vision loss from partial to total that can be
video on कीजिए okay
that cannot be corrected. Present कर दूं 1 minute में।
please carry on बोलिए
हाँ जी मैम।
ठीक है आपको जैसे कंफर्टेबल है
जी दिख रहा है मैम।
हाँ दिख रहा है
Visual impairment is a term used to describe a range of vision loss from partial to total that cannot be corrected with glasses, contact lenses, or other standard methods. It can affect an individual's ability to perform everyday tasks and can have significant consequences on their life. Visual impairment may be present from birth or develop during a person's lifetime, limiting activity and restricting participation in various aspects of life. Yoga is an ancient Indian practice that involves moving the body and training the mind to develop to achieve physical and mental balance and well-being. Meditation is a part of yogic practice that enables the mind to become still and relaxed. This can be done by taking the mind away from external things. The purpose of traditional yoga and meditation for each individual to be healthy physically, mentally, and emotionally. This article emphasizes the need and importance of yoga for person with visual impairment. The person with visual impairment who practices yoga often surprises everyone with their quick mastery of various yoga techniques. Yes, yoga techniques. They improve posture and develop greater consequence, balance, and control in their day-to-day activity and life. Thank you.
आपने किस बेसिस पे ये कंक्लूजन में आया है?
मैम मैं ये आर्टिकल कर रहा हूँ, आर्टिकल के लिए किया था मैं। जस्ट
लिटरेचर
ब्लाइंड बच्चों के लिए योगा का महत्व क्या है और आवश्यकता और महत्व।
हाँ, वही मैं पूछ रही हूँ, क्या आप जो कंक्लूजन में बोला है जो योगा विजुअल persons for persons with visual impairment it may be helpful है।
जी जी जी
तो किस बेसिस पे आपने ये कंक्लूजन में आया है, ये मैं पूछ रही हूँ। आपने कौन सा स्टडी किया है?
मैं डेटाबेस नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं ऐसे आर्टिकल सिंपल आर्टिकल प्रेजेंट
कोई
कर।
लिटरेचर पढ़ा है? कोई लिटरेचर के बेसिस पे बोल रहे हैं?
नहीं मैम, रिसर्च नहीं कोई ऐसे आर्टिकल है सिंपल, कोई रिसर्च नहीं किया मैंने। सिंपल ऐसे योगा का महत्व इनके लिए क्या हो सकता
है? पढ़ा है? सिर्फ एजम्पशन नहीं होता है ना, एक रिसर्च स्टडी के लिए आपको कुछ करना पड़ेगा ना। लिटरेचर पढ़ा है?
जी
लिटरेचर
अभी तो मैंने
जर्नल आर्टिकल पढ़ा है, देखा है?
हाँ मैम, आर्टिकल पढ़ के जो पेपर वगैरह जो पब्लिश हुए हैं उनको देख के उनके बेस पे मैंने ये बनाया है।
और ये प्रेजेंटेशन ना वो ऐसे करना चाहिए पीपीटी में। आपका एम्स ऑब्जेक्टिव्स क्या है, मेथोडोलॉजी क्या है, फाइंडिंग्स क्या है, ठीक है। थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर द
थैंक यू।
स्टॉप शेयरिंग,
ओके
प्लीज स्टॉप शेयरिंग।
ओके
नेक्स्ट मिस्टर निर्मल राजवंशी। मिस्टर निर्मल राजवंशी शायद नहीं है ना, निर्मल राजवंशी। निर्मल राजवंशी प्रेजेंट और नॉट? नहीं है शायद। ओके देन नेक्स्ट वन ऑफलाइन लिखा सकते हैं, ऑफलाइन है मेनू देखते हैं तो ऑफलाइन है ऐसे निर्मल राजवंशी। नेक्स्ट मिस्टर सृजन दास। सृजन दास प्लीज।
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon, madam. শুনতে পাচ্ছেন?
হ্যাঁ শুনতে পাচ্ছি।
Okay, fine. The thing is that good afternoon all. I am going to present my paper. As you can see, I think you can see my presentation, right?
Yes.
Yes. So I will be presenting on the tryst with yoga as a tool of diplomacy, comparing India's yoga diplomacy and China's Confucius Institutes in global soft power strategy. I'm a political science professor, so I'm going to bring politics into it. The thing is that, to start with, the concept of soft power, I just want to briefly mention that in international relations and political science, there are two kinds of power that we divide: soft power and hard power. Hard power is basically that we know, military and other things. Now, as far as soft power is concerned, every country in the whole world, they have a certain kind of soft power idea about presenting themselves. It's a way to influence the global politics. It's not new. As you can see in my slides, I've written that Joseph Nye was an international scholar, and in 1990 he brought up this idea of soft power, and he has said that soft power is basically the ability to shape preferences through appeal and attraction. Attractions mean attraction towards your culture. You basically sell your culture to influence other states. Now, there are other debates also in international relations. To briefly mention here that realists, Bastobbadi Banglaয় বলা হয়, realists, they feel that soft power is weak and hard power is basically something on which nations must act. Constructivism, there's another school of thought. They feel that soft power is rooted in identity, norms, culture, and those things. Critics find that it's hard to quantify influence and attraction. So, what attraction works in relations between the nations and what attractions don't work. There's a clear lack of metrics. There are debates. The soft power, whether it's an organic cultural appeal or whether soft power is a part of the larger manifestation of national identity or national power or not. To go to my next slide, as far as yoga is concerned, or that we celebrate International Day of Yoga, it was accepted by United Nations in 2015 onwards. Yoga, it has all its benefits and that we know. But as far as Indian foreign policy is concerned, purpose, it has a purpose of presenting our foreign policy as a tool of diplomacy. It projects India's civilizational power. India has been late to claim its position in the world, but now India is claiming that, and it promotes peaceful, holistic image of India. Yoga is used to build cultural bonds to foster global goodwill. Foreign policy objectives are supported by it, and it reasserts our India's claim on intangible heritage that we have, which have become important part. As far as the impact of India's yoga diplomacy is concerned, as you know, that in 2014, 177 countries of the world, and right now over 190 countries celebrate this all over the world, and it has enhanced India's cultural brand. India's cultural brand as a source and wellness and peace, provide a permanent stage for continuous global influence. It has positioned India as a thought leader in global health and well-being. Now, counter to that, as I started saying that India has been late in projecting its soft power, China was already ahead. Now, China has something called Confucius Institutes. They promote Chinese language, culture abroad, enhance China's global image as peaceful, and they counter negative narratives that other countries have about China. It has also played an important part in strengthening diplomatic and economic ties to cultural engagement. It is driven to build long-term influence by cultivating pro-China sentiments overseas. But as far as the global impact of the Chinese Confucius Institutes are concerned, till now, over 160 countries, 500 institutes are there. But many institutes in Australia and in Europe are closing down because the countries think, or there has been a backlash against the Chinese Confucius Institutes, because the Western democracies think that there are academic freedom which are at stake, and those have prompted closures and rebranding due to political and security concerns. If we compare our way of doing the diplomacy with yoga and the Chinese Confucius Institutes that they have, what we find is that yoga diplomacy builds goodwill through wellness and other crafts. Confucius Institutes face trust deficits over state control. Indian leverages global yoga popularity without deep state. China embeds soft power in academic infrastructure. Yoga Day enhances India's image. CIs often clash with liberal norms, yoga seen as a political, as non-political till now, Confucius Institutes perceived as an extension of the ideology. And India's soft power is seen as an organic and voluntary. China's as engineered and strategic, manipulative at times. Uh, Way forward, as I observed that this yoga diplomacy is going to stay. But the thing is that we need to expand. Now, how do we expand? Decentralization, enhancing authenticity, more collaborations with mental health ideas, climate change, SDGs, fostered partnerships with international NGOs, schools, educational institutions, wellness networks that we have all across the world, counter narratives of cultural imposition with inclusive and secular framing of the whole idea. We have to expand beyond yoga, create academic chairs, digital content is important, and research hubs must be made all across the world where we need to foster and develop our relations. This can go on becoming a very good vehicle for Indian foreign policy. It's a very good start that we have, but we have to expand beyond this. I finally end. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you all. Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much for you have presented a totally different presented that different from different angle. Thank you for that. We have also enriched from your presentation.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Please now stop sharing. Anybody has any
Yes.
question for Professor Srigandar? Anybody has any question? Is there any question from you? No? Okay, then Dr. Mousumi Bhattacharya. Dr. Mousumi Bhattacharya. She's not here? Dr. Mousumi Bhattacharya is not there? Then I will like to call Dipankar Chakraborty. Please present your style. Dipankar? কেটে গেল নাকি? No. Wait for a minute. There is some problem. What happened? Now we can start. Start, Dipankar. Am I audible? Dipankar, I can't hear you. Dipankar শুনতে পাচ্ছি না।
Can you hear me?
হ্যাঁ, এবার ঠিক আছে।
Yes, screen visible. Screen visible.
হ্যাঁ, visible.
Very good evening to all my present to this presentation. I would like to convey my heartiest regrets to the person.
But your sound is breaking.
Hello. Am I audible?
Audible.
Okay. For means I'm going to present my research study that is on effects of yoga asanas on body decomposition of systematic breathing. So as most of the presenters have already introduce the concept of yoga. I'm not jumping into the concept of yoga, but I just want to mention that the key word that I have selected here, that is body composition. So what is body composition? Body composition is the process of losing fat and gaining or maintaining muscle mass simultaneously. So my research question was that to what extent yoga asanas, especially yoga asanas, can impact on body composition in terms of certain parameters that have been selected. So the main objective of the trading research was to assess the impact of yoga asanas on fat loss and muscle mass. So these two parameters were selected. Then the second topic was the second parameter was to evaluate the changes in the body mass index and WTH, which is also known as waist to hip ratio, WHR. So how yoga interventions can help in body mass index and waist to hip ratio. So these two were objectives and these four were the parameters based on which I have done my systematic research review to the data. So the data was collected from all the online sources which are available, such as Prof, Science Direct, Google Scholar, and the keywords which were included under this yoga asanas, body composition, fat loss, muscle mass, BMI. So these were my keywords, key areas. So how I have extracted the data. See, independently I have researched all the clinical studies, medical experiments, and I have tried to find out these keywords. Based on these keywords, I have listed down all the research studies which have been done all across the world. So these are the four parameters based on which I have listed down the papers: body fat percentage, muscle mass, body mass index, and waist to hip ratio. So based on that, so these were my criteria. Basically, I have collected the research papers which were published between January 2005 to January 2024, and most of the research papers were peer-reviewed clinical trials, quasi-experimental trials, medical studies. And participants, most of the participants, I have tried to see the participants which were ranging between 18 to 65 years. And at least 1 month of yoga interventions were done during clinical studies. So all these parameters were taken into consideration, all these conditions were taken into consideration to select a particular paper in order to understand the impact of yoga asanas on our body composition. So exclusion criteria, basically I have excluded all those papers which were mainly focused on meditation and breathing practices. So these are my excluded criteria. So now the results. So what I have seen the results, almost many research papers I've been able to observe. So out of these, at least based on these four keywords that I have selected, based on these four keywords, I have got 35 studies. Okay, I have got 35 studies, and out of these 22 were randomized control trials, okay, which is also known as RCT, and 9 quasi-experimental studies, which is also these are also known as medical studies, medical experiments, and 4 cohort studies. And the impact on body percentage. Now the result, 25 studies out of my 35 extensive systematic research studies, 25 studies have reported a significant reduction in body fat percentage after yoga intervention. And the studies involving power yoga and Ashtanga yoga have significantly impacted on body fat percentage, especially Surya Namaskar. Surya Namaskar has significantly impacted on the body fat percentage. Then I have got 20 studies which had worked on muscle mass. So basically plank, which is also known as Falakasana, Utkatasana, even upward facing dog, Chaturanga. So all these asanas, all these yoga asanas have significantly increased the body muscle mass. And about the results that I have seen related to BMI and WHR,
So in 18 studies, which I have seen that particularly which were worked on overweight obese participants, and the result were like the WHR improvement was notable, significant, noteworthy. Even with the person with women with abdominal obesity who practiced yoga for 12 weeks, they have seen a significant changes in their BMI and WHR. So, so all mainly the basis of three parameters like body fat percentage, body muscle mass, and WHR and BMI. Based on these parameters, all these studies were extensively gone through, and this is something that we can list out that yoga, yes, yoga promotes really body recomposition through multiple pathways, muscle engagement. So many yoga asanas and so many studies, clinical studies have been done, which have been listed here. That muscle mass can be gained by certain yoga asanas, by performing certain yoga asanas, such as I have given some examples like Chaturanga Dandasana, downward facing dog, your upward facing dog, Cobra pose. All these yoga asanas have significantly impacted on body muscle mass. Why this research question got stuck in my mind? The reason is nowadays many youths, they are just like they are very very fascinated with gymming culture. But my question is that our traditional method of traditional method of yoga, which can also significantly impact in our body muscle making. So yoga really help in that case. Hormonal regulation, definitely certain studies have shown that yoga modulates our cortisol is one particular hormone, insulin sensitivity, and influencing fat metabolism. Clinical studies, all these studies were quantitative in nature, means these are result based, and all those studies which were selected in my paper, all these studies are significant research studies where the results were positive. So yeah, yoga. In certain cases, I should mention that yes, not only by performing yoga, one person can change body fat percentage, body mass index, and muscle mass improvement. But at the same time, breathing and diet, these things were also mentioned. That simultaneously, these things have to be followed and maintained properly. So, lastly, I would like to say yes, yoga asanas positively affect our body recomposition, particularly through fat loss, muscle making, muscle toning. While yoga alone may not replace traditional resistance training, but yes, in many cases, yoga can directly impact in our body fat muscle. These are my references. 35 research papers that I have extensively studied. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much. This study will help many of us who want to reduce our weight and don't believe on yoga, but believe on gym. So thank you so much to every participants. I now our session has been very enriched session. Dipankar, stop your sharing.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Hmm. Stop sharing the screen. Okay. Oh, audio. Okay. Thank you so much, Dipankar. Your study is very important for them who want to reduce their weight, but only dependent on gym, and also for them who can't do gym but
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
reduce their weight. No?
Actually,
So,
many youths nowadays they are.
stop your screen sharing. Today, our this session has been a very enriched session, on my opinion. The discussion has been started with the introduction to yoga, and then it covered a vast area. One paper is on environmental education, and the rest is on yoga education. And paper the papers cover the vast area from mental health of women, invisible visibility, then yoga and life skills in schools, and self-concept, and yoga for the person with visual impairment. This study has more scope if done properly. Then a different angle of yoga diplomacy, India's yoga diplomacy. This is a new topic for many of us. And lastly, for fat reducing and muscle mass, growing muscle mass. Thank you for all to all participants for your extensive study and nice presentation. We all are enriched from one another, and I will hope that in future also we can proceed with another seminar on this topic, yoga education. And this is a burning topic now, and actually this is our heritage, and this is we should give importance to yoga education. The specifically young generation for as physical, for improvement in physical as well as in mental. So with this hope, I will like to Dipankar, your screen sharing has not been stopped yet. Please stop. We will take a photo. Please on your video. Please everybody on your video. Very nice study was there. Dipankar, ठीक है. Devanjan, please video on. Screenshot.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us, and you are saying something.
Thank you, madam.
Okay.
Thank you all for
Thank you,
giving us the
ma'am.
Thank
opportunity.
you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
With this,
Good, ma'am.
I'd like to end now this session. Okay.
Okay, thank you.